Welcome to Chaos Chronicles. I'm Ashton.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Philip.
Today, we are going to talk about mental health topic.
I've been excited for this one. I know it's a heavy topic, but I like to talk about mental health things.
Yes.
I'm not ready.
Because it's very important. You'll be fine.
Okay.
I like talking about it, but I'm still super nervous.
Oh, yeah.
You're only talking to us, remember?
I know.
You're not
right?
talking to anybody
It's
else.
just us.
No,
Just us. No problem.
And I'm going to say it wrong like 80 times because I keep pronouncing it wrong.
It's a word.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about disassociation or dissociating.
So I can't even say that.
See?
Don't
Dissociating.
Yeah, don't overthink
Disassociating? Dissociation.
Dissociation.
Okay.
Do we have a code word for it?
What did you want to be the...
I don't know. Yo, dis.
Yo, dis. That won't work at my house. I say dis and my dog's run to the door barking.
Oh my gosh. Nice.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay, first of all, I'm not a professional at anything.
At all?
No.
You're a banker professional.
Not even a loan admin? Are you serious?
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Mother?
At one point in time. Yes. Well,
your professional mother.
Never heard it called that, but sure. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'd say you're a pro.
You should ask for a raise on your mother.
Oh, God.
For Mother's Day?
Yeah,
Mother's Day, the annual
every
raise.
year I need a raise.
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry.
This is just my perspective, what I've been through, experiences, all that other stuff. Don't be afraid to do your own research and get help if you need it. Because I had to, and it is terrifying. I have been in therapy in and out pretty much for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this just came up last week. So it's pretty fresh. And I did a lot of research because I didn't really understand it and I didn't really know what it was.
I'll be honest, I did not know you've been in therapy for 15 years.
Yeah, on and off.
On and off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Between having kids, getting divorced, all of that stuff.
A lot of life events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Working
with me. That
was a big one.
That was stress.
Yeah. 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple times 4. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been going on and off the whole time. But I went back last year. I have really bad seasonal depression. For some reason, when we hit winter, I do not like that I have to be inside all the time. So I get a little depressy right before the holidays because they also stress me out with kids and Christmas and planning and all that stuff. So I get...
Yeah.
So normally at about that time, I regroup. And this year I went back to therapy. So I have been going once a week, but...
So what brought up her saying you were dissociating?
So pretty much when I go, I like recap my last week. How I felt, any triggers, kind of what's been going on. And I told her that last week you guys got here.
Mm-hmm.
And I already felt out of it. I had been out of it all morning and I couldn't place it. I couldn't figure out why. I was just kind of moving through the motions, but not really paying attention to a lot or talking a lot or doing anything. And then you got here and you kind of both said like, "Hey, you all right? What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm fine."
You were just super quiet.
Yeah, you were.
And that was not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt it. I knew something wasn't right. And I had told Cody that even before you got here. I'm like, I feel out of it. And I couldn't place it. And so I was telling her all of this and she's like, you had a rough week. Through the week was a busy week. And you dissociated. Just completely checked out. And I'm like, okay. And then she kind of explained more on how that works. And I am like, wow, I feel like I've done that. More than just this situation. I could think back to times that I was like, oh, yeah, no, I just checked out.
So I am curious, why was this never brought up before? I mean, why?
I don't know. And she said that too. it could be that I wasn't giving like a previous therapist enough information or explaining enough. And honestly, it takes time to open up.
Yeah, it does.
You have to get to know this person before you can really spill everything you got. You know what I mean? And I've been seeing her long enough that when I go in, I spill all of it. I'm not afraid to hold back. I can be honest. She's not judging me. She's super nice. Like, I just feel comfortable. And honestly, I've seen plenty of other therapists, and I can tell you there's a few of them I stopped going to. Just would be like, sounds good, see you next week.
Yep.
Just
I was just an appointment.
And there wasn't really
they were
like
just collecting a paycheck.
Yes.
there was no helping, like,
No.
oh, here's what you can do to like ground yourself or
Yes.
to like work through when you're feeling that way.
Right.
Yeah. In and out of therapy for 10 years. So
Yes.
yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
For them to give you like coping mechanisms and ways to help yourself when you leave. And like she said, she doesn't call it homework, but it kind of is. Like, when I get into situations, I think about what I've learned and how I can handle it to try and get through it better than what I would have in the past.
Well, and I remember you saying that she's like, well, I normally tell people that they have an assignment and they're supposed to do something. She's like, but I'm not going to say that to you because I know how much you take that to heart.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
Yeah,
that she
and
does do that.
that was a couple weeks ago, because trying to find the right thing for you is huge because there's so many things out there, and one of them is really that a lot of people focus on, and I've heard it a million times, is meditation. I'm not a meditation person.
I don't know how to do that. I can't shut my brain off.
I can't shut my brain off, or I would really just like to go to sleep. So if you're gonna put me in a room and like have me lay down and play calming music, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no.
I don't.
I get it.
I'm not there.
That's fair.
So they start with that, and then they push it. You know what I'm saying? And when her and I first met, I was like, yeah,
That's not me.
Right.
Yep.
So she doesn't, and she knows that about me. And like, when she tells me try this, I do. I give it an effort, but then I can go back to her and be like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So a couple weeks ago when we were having that discussion, and she said, I don't want to give you this as like an assignment because I go 100% when someone asks me to do something. She said, start journaling. And I'm also not a journaler. I don't write things down. And I started in the last week and a half, and I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about it, but I'm at least going to try it. All you can do is try the techniques they give you to try and make things better and see what happens.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's still on the
in the works right now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I can continue doing that or not, because it is also time consuming. I mean, you got to take time out to write stuff down, and I'm using the journaling app, so I'm just typing it in my phone, but it's still like processing the thoughts. And she said more for her is, when does it happen? When I have the feeling, or I'm feeling upset about something, when am I having it? What situations am I in that are like triggering it? Because then that helps her try to help me through things if she knows more detail of like when and where and what was going on.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I know the one thing that she suggested that I have been trying is, when I'm really bad, I eat candy. Just a piece of candy to suck on. Honestly, she said the sour ones are better because it makes your brain connect because you've shocked it with something sour. And I hate sour stuff, so I have not tried that yet. But for some reason, sporting events make me super anxious. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of noise. I don't know why.
It's overstimulating.
A little bit. So I always have candy. Always. And I eat it during the whole game.
Jump into what candy?
High chews.
I choose.
High chews.
Never had one, but okay.
I've never had that
It's
either.
kind of like Laffy Taffy.
Oh, okay.
Like
the consistency. Because you
flavor
can kind of
wise,
more like a Starburst.
I don't like it already.
Starbursts seem too hard. I'm not a fan of that. It gets stuck in my teeth.
Oh, yeah.
But high chews, they're pretty good.
So do Laffy Taffies.
These are softer than the Laffy Taffy.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one. I have some
All right.
upstairs.
All right.
But no, you can get big bags of them, so I have a bunch of those and I always have them with me. But that's just one of the things that she said to try, and I'm also using that. But I mean, it's just nice to talk to like a third party, because I can talk to Cody. Cody is super supportive. Cody knows pretty much all about it and is super supportive and is there for me, and I can tell him what some of her suggestions are. I have to laugh because the first like 2 weeks that I went, she sent home a bunch of paperwork, like grounding techniques was the first one. And
What is that?
okay, so grounding techniques, like the one that she taught me was senses. So if I'm having a panic attack, because I have those frequently, I can think of, what can I smell? What can I see? What am I feeling? Touch something.
Yeah, you're supposed to go through all your senses,
Yes,
right?
you're grounding
Interesting.
yourself to come back to the present to get yourself through a panic attack. So
Okay.
I brought these papers home and I set them on the counter. And like 2 days later, I have a panic attack. And Cody starts asking me questions.
Oh, I remember this. Because you called
He's
me
like-
not long after.
He's like, what can you smell? And I'm like, you fucking read my paperwork.
Oh, that's funny.
And I told my therapist that. She's like, I absolutely love that. Because he's super involved and he wants to help. And if she's giving those, it is good for him to know those. Because
Yeah.
even though I was like, what the hell? Like,
Shut the fuck up.
I don't want to hear it right
Not
now.
helping. Don't want your help. Just let me go through this.
Right? But even though I felt that way, like, he was trying to help. And
Yeah.
now if he starts to do that, I can acknowledge like, oh yeah, no, I'm freaking out. We're going to bring it back down.
Okay.
Work through it. It's going to be okay. And sometimes it takes longer than others, and sometimes it doesn't work. But as the fact that he knows them and can also help with it is huge.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet that's a huge help.
Yeah. It's kind of nice too, because he kind of rubs off on the boys. And the boys can
To
acknowledge
see.
like, oh, hey, mom's kind of having a moment. And like, they haven't tried using any of the techniques or anything, but they can at least see it and be like, oh, I'm going to like back off, or I'm going to help her somewhere,
They just
do
step
something.
back.
Yeah,
Yep.
because they know that I'm like not great at the moment.
Hmm.
And
That's
it's-
good, though.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. They're teenagers. I don't expect them
They're
to.
kids.
Yeah. Their world doesn't revolve much outside of their phone and their friends
Yeah.
at this
Exactly.
point.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much.
And
But-
sports. You gotta
Oh,
include
Oh,
sports.
yeah, you can't
Yes.
forget sports.
So, yeah, I am going to read the actual explanation. Not explanation. What am I looking for?
Definition.
Thank you. Of dissociation. It is a mental process that involves a person disconnecting from their thoughts, feelings, memories, actions, or sense of identity. It can range from a mild emotional detachment to a more severe disconnection from physical and emotional experiences. It is a normal process that everyone has experienced. A common example of mild dissociation would be daydreaming. Dissociation can also be a way for the mind to cope with too much stress, such as during a traumatic event. It is also a common symptom of an anxiety disorder. If you're living with anxiety, dissociation serves as a coping mechanism when you're faced with extreme stress or panic. Instead of facing the situation head on, dissociation enables you to handle the event while disconnected from the severity or reality of it.
Oh my god.
Daydreaming.
Right?
That's
That
interesting.
was.
Dude, and that last part is what like super got me. Because I was doing this a day or two ago, and it's been a week with kids going back to school. And I realized pretty much the entire week I have been doing this. Because it gets so overwhelming and there's so much going on, and I'm trying to be in like a million places at once, that it's easier for me as a response to just shut down, do what I have to do, and like have no emotional attachment or anything to what's happening. But then when I come home or like at the end of the night, I just fall apart. It's like everything I shut off all day has hit me all at one time, and then I just crash, and all I want to do is go to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
So how connected are you in those situations?
I remember what happened, and I'm there, I'm present. Like, I'm driving, I'm
You're
going
having
here.
a conversation.
I can have conversations, but I'm not having any meaningful conversations, and it's not, I'm not enjoying my time at all. I am just present, and I'm doing what I have to do, but I'm not in it.
You know, after you reading that paragraph or that definition, it brings me back to work.
Yes.
I can think of instances where you've had a lot of tasks.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
And I would come down to your office and be like, oh, you know what, I wanted to close, this day or whatever. And you're like, oh, well, I need to do this doc, and then I can start working on yours. And
you can see it.
Yeah, you can just tell there's not
can.
much input or engagement within that conversation.
It is just
you
straight up,
acknowledge
this
it.
is what we'll do.
Oh, yeah.
And then
You acknowledge it, but that doesn't make sense. And I understand. I mean, I might do that to an extent, knowing that, I got stuff to do, and I might just be like, okay, I'll do that, and then just focus on it. But
yes.
I guess in your case, it might be a little bit more deep, and a little deeper in that regard. That's
and it's my brain is like processing so many things at once and trying to organize it that I just can't. There's just too much there. So
how do you handle, because I know when we worked together, you were very good at deadlines.
Oh.
So how did you decipher on how you processed everything? I mean, just from what you were saying.
I think prioritize what's the most important. What has to be done first.
And you're able to concentrate and actually prioritize in those situations.
And that's where I kind of am like, I'm going to shut off everything else, and I'm going to do this one thing because it has to be done right now.
Okay.
And then I showed up.
Yeah.
And then it helped take stuff off of her plate to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then it also, I would say, took away from your concentration time when you were in the office.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we were always in the same room.
Yeah, that's fair.
Working.
Yeah.
So then I'd turn around and ask her a question. Or I would, we would start a conversation.
Right.
And I think that
that's fair.
Probably did not help with your dissociating at the time. Or maybe it pulled you out of it. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I think it helped.
Can you go in and out of it?
Oh, yeah. I think it helped because I had someone else to talk to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
like through some stuff? Yeah.
Right. And I could verbalize how I was feeling or what I was stressed about or what was going on. And then you would be like, hey. And help me manage it a little bit more. And that's why, when I'm in a really bad spot, I can call Cody and be like, I can't do this. I'm not good. Something's not right. And he can be like, all right, what do we need to do first? What is your priority right now? What's stressing you out the most? He tries to work through what
organize.
What's going to try and, almost free up space in my brain to breathe. And I've started lists, and that's touch and go. I've been doing that for almost my whole life. Instead of having it in my brain, I have it written down. So it gives my brain permission to not think about it.
Until you have to see it.
But then I see the list and I'm like, but this didn't get done. And this didn't get done. And now all of this has to get done today because it didn't get done yesterday. I started using the calendar on my phone. And I figured out how I could put things that I need to do.
Because that's what we did at work.
Yes, my calendar was my lifeline. That was my whole day planned out.
Yep.
And if someone came in and said I need something done, I would rearrange the calendar.
So you could stay organized.
So I could stay organized and prioritize. Yeah. So when I stopped working and started being a stay-at-home mom,
you went into chaos.
Oh, right. Well, I lost that. For a year, I didn't have a calendar. There was no schedule. We were just going with it as it came. And and I think that's kind of how I unraveled a little bit because I started to feel like I had zero control on anything.
Okay, so this brings up a good point here, or a good question.
Yeah.
So last year, I think it was last year, you went on vacation.
Yeah.
You had no set plans.
What vacation was that?
That was
Wyoming.
Yeah. And
Yes.
So how does that work? Knowing that you have no idea where you're going, what you're doing, how does that correlate with you having to make sure you're set organized?
So that was the first time we'd done that. No, second time. We've done it twice.
Okay.
We didn't go last year. We went
Because
the
you
2
couldn't
years
handle it?
before that. No, last year, Cody had a month off of work. Paid. His,
hiatus or
Sabbatical.
sabbatical.
yes. And kids had football stuff and things were crazy. This year, one of the boys is not playing football, so the schedule's a little freer.
Yep.
So we're going. But, so the first year we went, we had a route. Like, we kind of knew where we wanted to go.
Okay. So it was somewhat
Yes.
scheduled-ish.
The second year,
There was structure.
and we stayed
Structure,
in a hotel
yes.
room every night
Okay.
in a town.
Okay.
The second year, we got a mattress that blows up that fits in my car perfectly. And we said we were just going to camp out. Wherever we ended the day, we would find like a campground. And we did that for 2 nights. And I had a meltdown. Because, I mean, we're changing in the car.
Not super comfortable.
Right.
Yep.
Sleeping wasn't great. I mean, we go in September, so you never know if you're going to get like a hot, cold situation. You kind of got to plan for everything.
Especially where.
Right.
I mean, if you're lower in the mountains
Yes.
or higher up, yeah.
Right.
Big difference.
So I was overstimulated because it was a lot. And eating out the entire time because I didn't plan food. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, it was our first time. We didn't have a lot of plans. So I think the third night, Cody was like, we're getting a hotel room. Like, let's just regroup. And every morning we would wake up and make a plan. Because we were geocaching.
Oh,
So we would
okay.
look where we were, what we wanted to see, and we would make like a route and a plan. Or like by the end of the day, we want to be in this town.
So was that somewhat predetermined too, before you guys even left?
Yes, we knew
There's
the area
3,
we were
4,
going to.
5 towns you wanted to,
Yes.
or areas you wanted to hit.
Yep,
Okay.
and we're going in like 3 or 4 weeks. And same thing, we're gonna have a plan.
Okay.
So we've been talking about that all week. But so I think I'll be better this year than I have in the past because we're gonna be a lot more prepared. And I mean, if things pop up here constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, even the schedule thing, like I started the schedule back up here probably in February, and I figured out how to add tasks to my calendar that nobody else can see. Because that was my problem, is like TikTok, and it's cleaning schedules. And like, I like to be on a schedule, but I also need it to be super flexible because the boys' stuff gets thrown at me and things get weird.
Yep.
But I cannot, like, I could go a month and not remember when I mopped last. Because my schedule is crazy, and before you know it, a month has gone by. So, like, I figured out how to put tasks on my calendar for just me. Like, every other week, I mop on Mondays. And if I can't do it, I've learned I'm okay with moving it or just deleting it entirely. If I can't get it done, I can't get it done. And before, like a year or two ago, that would have made me really upset and I would have gone into, like, complete chaos because I need to get this done. And this is an expectation I set on myself, for my house, for our family, and I would have been disappointed in myself for not doing it. But now I'm
something
like,
as simple as mopping?
as simple as mopping the floor. And the reason is, and I told this to my therapist too, and she's like, oh, yep. Is because it's not just mopping. If you really think about it, I have to move all the chairs out of the dining room, pick up all the rugs. Well, I have a Roomba for that, so I do ignore that part.
That's
but I have
fair.
to pick up all the rugs. If I'm picking up the rugs, I'm going to throw them in the washer. So I'm going to get those in the washer, and then I'm going to mop, and my mop head, once I'm done mopping, has to be washed. So now I have 2 loads of laundry right there that you added onto the mopping.
You're laughing, but this is legit.
I'm just like, wow, okay. So your typical task is not just one task.
No.
Well, and you have to think too, like, this is probably every day for the parents that stay home, or unfortunately the women that are stuck with all of these chores that don't have somebody to help them, even though they're living in a household with a significant other or children.
Right.
They don't have anybody to help. But, like, with anxiety, it will amplify everything. Because, like, I have a little, it's not a Roomba, but it's effectively the same thing. And that will only go through half my house.
Great value, Brian. Yeah.
It will, it will start in the dining room, and it will clean the whole south half of my house, and by the time it's done there, it's got to charge.
So it can never make it...
It will never go to the north half. So I have to put up the baby gate. And I don't like to do that because you have to walk. I mean, I have to take that down every time I go back there to let the dogs out.
Oh my.
So, like, I can't just have it on a schedule like I used to do at all my other houses. And so then I have to vacuum or sweep the north half of the house, if I even have it. It's just sitting right now because I'm mad at it, and it scares Bailey, and I don't want to listen to her bark. In just complete petrification.
I'm gonna point out one thing. What? You're mad at it.
I'm mad at it.
Oh, I've been mad at mine numerous times because it gets stuck behind my couch and hits my cord and then dies there. Dies there, and a week later I'm like, "Where's Alice?" And she's dead behind the couch.
See, I was gonna. What's the name for your vacuum?
Gloria.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Alice is ours.
Alice. Okay.
But even her, right? You think it'd be easy. She just starts, she runs. No, I have to clean her out. I have to dump out the cartridge, and then I have to cut out all of my hair that is stuck in the bristles. And then I have to make sure all the phone cords are off the floor because she will eat them. And, like, it's not...
Well, and the socks. She will eat my little socks.
Yep.
And then you also have to go in and you have to sweep out the filters. Otherwise, it's not going to suck up as much hair or dirt. And then it's just going to be dragging it all through the house. And then you might as well have just used your vacuum in the first place.
And that's where your anxiety and stuff is like, like you said, it amplifies it. Because it's not just an easy task that's going to take 2 seconds to just turn it on and let it. You still have to do all these things first. And do you have time to do that?
Okay.
Probably not.
I'm going to go a completely different direction here.
Yeah.
Okay. I am curious on what causes anxiety to begin with. What is the starter for it? Or is this is this an environmental thing, or is it just a genetic thing?
A lot of what I have read and been taught over the years is mostly trauma response.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're responding from an experience you had, and it's changed the way you look at things, and now you overthink things. And I mean, teenage pregnancy and everything that I went through the divorce and everything, there's a lot of things that happened there that I could look at now and go, that is why I do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Because I wasn't that way before.
Yep. No, living at my mom's house was not a great experience. So, like, there's various things in that. I'm like, oh, that's why I do that. Or that's why I'm so focused on that.
Yeah.
Because, like, even, so yesterday, Jeremy and I went on, like, a...
Side-by-side.
Yeah, we were on our side-by-side, but there were, like, Jeeps and other things there. And we just, like, bar hopped. I cannot tell you how bad I was panicking before we left. Even the days leading up to it. Because, so...
No, continue.
Yeah.
So, it's because, number one, I knew that there were going to be more people that I did not know than that I knew and was comfortable with.
That is social anxiety to its core.
Number two, we're going to places I have never been before.
So did you scope them out beforehand?
No, because I didn't know where we were going. I knew we were bar hopping, but I didn't know all the towns we were going to.
Okay.
I didn't know the route.
So was it like a poker run, or?
Kind of, but without the... I mean, it wasn't supporting anything.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing, too, was I knew that everybody would be drinking. Because we're bar hopping.
Were you nervous about that?
Oh, yeah. For
Drinking?
sure.
Why
that?
drinking?
Because people can be
Get
awful.
stupid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they turn into not themselves.
Heathens.
Pretty much, just foul human beings.
Creatures.
But no, I mean, it's all, and the last one is a trigger for me.
The drinking?
Yes. If I know that a lot of people are going to be getting, like, pretty fucked up, I probably don't want to go.
Interesting. I mean, I don't blame you there. Right, like, now, I'm not a big fan of that either. Going to a place that people
In
are
your
just
life,
going
yeah.
to get hammered.
Yeah, see, and I've never been one to, like, party.
Yeah.
You know, like, go to the bar,
Yeah.
hang out. Yeah, no, I'm not one to go out and be a social butterfly. I'd rather be a hermit. I mean, which is why, like, if you call me, you can always be like, oh, did you go to Walmart? I hear that you're in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no.
Walmart, there's scooters. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Home. Maybe a doctor's appointment.
Drugs.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
run.
I don't like the unknown at all.
It's not that I don't want people to talk to me, but I kind of don't. Because I'm so paranoid about what I say.
If I'm not funny enough,
See,
if I'm saying
Yeah.
something
Like-
that is going to offend you, or
and that might be part of my dissociation, is I'm just going to blank out and, like, one word answer everything because I'm so uncomfortable in that situation that I'm just going to shut off and do the basics because, and that is for sure trauma response. I can pinpoint where that came from, but it's an uncomfortable feeling that I'm going to say something. Mine is I'm going to say something. They're going to take it a different way. They're going to repeat what I said and it will somehow hurt me or somebody else that it sucks.
you know, I did that. I don't know if this is related to anxiety. It might be, but see, earlier in my career, I always worried about that. I always worried about, saying the right thing when talking to customers and stuff like that. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more relaxed on what I say. I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If someone does get upset, they get upset.
Yep.
And honestly, within a week, they're going to forget about it.
Mhm.
Even if it's a week, it might be the next day they completely forget about what I said.
Right.
Because people just move on with their lives and they don't care.
Right.
It's got to be something pretty significant for someone to think about it long term. And
Right.
like you said, it actually go out and affect you per se.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I've kind of waxed on that.
And
it might just be with age.
Well, and I think if that experience were behind you, but it's not behind me, it still affects me every
Yes.
single day. And I still have to be very careful and I
Yeah.
still have to be conscious. And it's a constant struggle.
Well, and going back to the dissociating thing, I mean, that's stuff that has affected me for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It
Oh,
didn't just start like on a specific day.
Mhm.
I've had anxiety for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Like I can remember things from my childhood that I'm like, oh, that was me having anxiety.
Yeah.
And realizing what dissociation is now, I can tell you, I dissociated most of yesterday.
Oh,
I can tell you that 100%.
Yep.
Most of I don't remember a lot about yesterday.
What
Right.
happened?
And
Yeah.
it was really just surviving that day
Yes.
is what it was for me. And it I know to some people it's going to sound silly
Mhm.
because it's like, well, you weren't in any danger, but I felt like I was
Yes.
all day because all of these people, I have no idea who they are. I don't know their intentions. I don't know what they're like when they drink. Like
Yep.
they could be total assholes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's just crazy now that I can be like, oh yeah, no, I was dissociating.
Yep.
Because like 5 years ago when I lost my friend and my grandma,
Yeah.
like the same time,
Yeah.
I just would lay in bed and I would daydream all day. I would just lay in bed, shut my eyes, and just daydream about nothing in this world.
Yeah.
No. Interesting.
I know, like, I can go back to, like, being a mom for fucking days at this point, but I think the biggest reason for the meltdowns this week was, like, you have this vision in your head that you're going to spend time with your kids and you're going to go school shopping and you're going to do
it's going to be so much fun and we're going to have good memories.
Yes, and you're going to look back and go, oh, I had so much fun with my mom. And by the end of the day, I was like,
get the fuck out of my car.
I can't take you anymore. And I know they're teenagers and I know this is like a rough time anyways, but it was like, you start to put the blame on yourself. What did you do wrong? What could you have done differently? And the fact that I was dissociating, I was barely trying because it was like, if I gave you a little, you took so much more of what I had left in the tank, you know, and it sucks and it's hard to navigate. And I feel bad for anybody who doesn't understand that that's what's happening. Cause at least I knew what was going on and I'm trying to work through it, but to live your life every day doing this and not know that it's not normal and that there are ways to try and help you through it. Like, I feel bad for them.
Yeah. Well, and that is something that's not talked about enough, I think, with parents, single, or if you have the other parent totally involved and you're still together. It sucks because everybody says how great it is to have kids and to do all these things and they're going to be all these great memories and there will.
Oh, there's
but
sure
the expectation of that, I feel like, is so high for most that in your situation you feel like a failure because you're like, well, this is going to be one of the last times I go back to school shopping with, you know, whichever, whichever kid, and they were just jerks the whole time because they wanted this, they wanted that, or they didn't want to be there anymore and they just wanted to go home and play on their phone. And I don't think that.
Well, and I think social media and TikTok has provided a kind of view of how your life is supposed to be.
Yes.
And then on the flip side, it is consuming the kids' life.
Oh, for sure.
So it is hitting on both ends. And I think it affects, obviously, both sides drastically.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a 2-hour span at one point this week that the two boys talked to each other for a 45-minute car ride. And I could not tell you what they were saying because they were talking in, like, I'm going to say TikTok language, like teenager words. And I'm like, what did you just say? And then they would repeat it. I'm like, that is not a complete sentence.
That's not even a word.
Not even a word.
Yes.
And they could talk to each other and go back and forth. And I'm like, I have no clue what you just said.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know what you're watching or what you're seeing, but I'm like, hi, I'm in the car too. Yeah. And I would like to be a part of your conversation.
Could we use words?
Yeah, real words.
Full words.
And then they'll make some crack joke at it. That is also a word I don't know. And I'm like, is that good or bad?
Oh my gosh.
Was that a compliment?
Like,
I don't. And then they laugh, and I'm like, I still don't know. Are you making fun of me, or was that like a compliment? I don't know.
Yeah,
still don't know.
All right, I'm gonna call them out right now. Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
All right, but so I read a couple of the comments on some prior videos, and first of all, I had no idea what they were.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I told him, I was like, Phil thought that you were like hating on us.
I know. I was like, he's saying that's bad, isn't it? I was like, he's definitely saying it's bad. I was like, that does not look like a word. That means you're doing a great job.
Yeah. No, nowadays.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for explaining that and verifying with your boys to make sure that was
it's a cool word.
A cool positive comment there. Yeah. No, that's interesting.
Yeah. But no, and again, that's kind of one of those moments where I feel like I might have dissociated because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I want to be engaged with my kids, but I'm also like, I am not new on all this social media stuff.
It's like learning a completely different language.
It is. And then I try to think back to when I was a kid I'm like, gosh, did I say stuff that my parents probably had no clue what we were talking about?
Probably.
Probably.
100%, yeah.
Probably, but I think now it's amplified because,
It's gotta be.
There's
especially
so much.
with like emojis.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He told me one last week because I sent it to him, and he was like, "You know what that means, right?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like crying, laughing. He's like, "That's not what that means anymore." And I'm like,
What do you mean?
Did you just change?
What do you mean?
I don't-
means?
I always send that.
Yeah, I don't know. He
What is
said it's something different. I'll ask him.
I don't think we want to know, to be honest
Oh
with
god,
you.
I'm terrified.
It's a different
Which one?
emotion.
Which one?
The one where the tears are coming straight down because you are.
Oh, that's sad. I think that's crying
No.
now.
Maybe it's the tear with a smile because you're laughing, crying.
Is it the
And
one
it's
that's like
like
this,
shooting
or the
the
one that's
tears
like
out?
Yes,
this?
it's shooting the tears out.
Yeah, is it the one like this, or is it like this?
I think it's the straight on because this one is rolling on the floor laughing, right?
I think so.
Okay,
I use that one when something's really funny.
I don't know. I
I'm
can't.
like, oh my god.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't follow you. And also my brain is going about 1,000 other directions. So me trying to learn your language or figure out what your emoji means.
Your hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, dude, I just, what? Why you gotta make it more complicated? English already sucks.
Yeah.
I still don't really know where you put
No.
a comma in all the situations.
Exactly.
Let alone putting a semicolon somewhere.
Dude,
Or do you need apostrophe S if
I was
it's
just
the
gonna,
last name with an S?
I was just gonna say that because, I had to do my first day of school picture on Facebook because everyone else does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought the same thing. I would put their name apostrophe S
That's possessive.
because it's
Right?
his
Yeah.
Yeah.
his first day
day.
of whatever year.
Yep.
So I did it right. See, that's another
Mhm.
anxiety thing. I'm like over analyzing what I put in my Facebook page because I'm so worried about who's going to see it. And I'm like, I don't really even need to post this because the people who care about me are probably going to get it in Snapchat.
Yep.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to get likes, but
and
I'm also like, I love my kids and you're going to post all these pictures and I kind of want you to at least see that I still love my kids because I take pictures of them too.
See, and I'm just not present on Facebook. I'll scroll it,
Yeah.
but I'll like get on Swap and Talk or Marketplace or whatever.
Right.
But I'm not on there to let anybody know how my life is going. Like if you
Yes.
wanted to know,
Yeah.
we'd
Call
talk.
you up.
Right.
Like yeah, like
Yes.
we'd be talking. You'd know how my life is.
Wait, you actually call people still?
But I mean, that's also like part of anxiety. Like you said, this is more like generationally. Like before this, like social anxiety and social media anxiety was not a thing when I was in high school.
No.
We didn't care about any of
No,
that.
absolutely not.
And now it's like, who's getting more likes? Who's getting more views? Who's posting more content? And it's like, it's overshadowing so much. And it's
It is.
not.
Well, and I've seen quite a few people post on like TikTok and be like, my life, you keep saying that my life is so perfect and this, that, and the other. And they're like saying it to be nasty to them in the comments. And they're like, I'm just a person.
Yeah.
I just posted a video and the next day I woke up and there were 10,000 of you following me.
Yep.
Like and it makes me sad because I think social media has given people access to say mean and hurtful things and be a bully, and it's all anonymous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
They can't take responsibility for what they.
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no repercussions if
No,
they
you can say whatever you
threaten
want.
somebody online. I mean, I'm sure there is, but
To a certain point.
all
Yeah.
the hoops you'd have to jump through to try to find this person to prove
Yeah.
that it was them that posted it. Like it's just it's a terrible thing that has been created. I mean, it was great in the beginning,
Right.
but now it's
And I get like the networking, right? Like I can see people that I haven't
It's
seen in
beneficial,
years and they post a picture of their kids and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're getting so big.
yeah.
Online, the boys are getting so tall. Like that is what I appreciate it for, but it's the anxiety of it.
Like, is somebody gonna make a nasty comment?
Right.
Is somebody gonna point something out that I didn't realize was in my picture in my post?
Oh, I can't even talk about that. That's
Yeah.
why the picture I take for school is outside because I can't take a picture of my house.
Yeah.
Because the whole time I am over analyzing what is in the background. Is there dust?
Interesting.
Is there dust? Is there something on my kitchen counter? Like I over analyze. That's why I don't post very much.
Thanks, sure there's no dust back here.
Oh my god.
No, because I made the boys start doing chores last week. That was also something that I was like, you know
Perfect.
what? I am stressed out. I am overwhelmed. Everybody can take something off my plate.
Mm-hmm.
So now mopping is still my thing. But like dusting,
Yep. Simple.
That's the worst chore.
vacuuming.
I need to dust my bookshelf. It looks terrible.
Oh, dude. It just piles up. But it's like you can all take accountability for one thing and take it off my plate so that I can focus on other things, because it's been a lot lately. And it's hard. You go through the seasons. Like right now we're in between sports seasons. And I'm like 2 weeks away from going back into another one. So right now I might seem like I have it together, but
Yeah.
the seasons of life and what we go through all the time, it's a constant back and forth.
Well, and I've never understood what I get people saying like, "Oh, my life is perfect. Look how happy we are," and this, that. And the thing that I have noticed, the more you see people on social media posting about their lives and posting how wonderful everything is, their life is absolute, like just a mess.
Well,
Oh yeah,
and
there's
to
strong.
need that like
Yeah.
self-gratification
Yes.
of other people. So people are posting on social media, and I always feel like I don't have to post on social media to prove that my life is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, my life is okay, but I'm also not always okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't want to be like a poser where I'm like, oh, I have this great life and everything is perfect, when I know I have anxiety.
Yep.
I have dissociation. Like, I do these things and it's not perfect.
Yeah. You can tell you're born in the 80s because poser. Just saying. Okay, sorry, continue.
The last thing I want to bring up is some treatments. Therapists may ask you to do some of the following things to snap out of a period of dissociation. Make eye contact. I have not tried that. I think it would be terrifying. I'm not
Like
great.
with yourself in the mirror? What if you're alone?
No, I would say
To others, or
yeah, like if you're
oh,
dissociating normally, like I would stare off into La La Land, right? So if
Mhm.
you're talking to me, I'm not looking at you. So
Okay.
like,
Oh, dude,
break-
I do that when I
break your
realize
train
that
of
I'm not paying
thought.
attention.
yeah,
No.
break
Yeah.
your train of thought, look at the person, listen to what they're saying,
Okay.
make eye contact.
Interesting.
What if they won't make eye contact with you?
Force them.
Eat a piece of candy to snap into the moment. That's kind of one of
Okay.
mine.
Yep.
Get up and walk around for a bit. This one's fun. Name 5 animals with letters that match the first 5 letters of the alphabet.
Interesting.
Alpaca,
Oh, she's gonna try it right now.
Bear.
bobcat.
Ooh, not bad.
Okay. Does catfish count?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corey catfish. I have those.
Okay.
Deer.
Okay.
Elephant.
There you
I was
go.
gonna say iguana. That is an eye.
Oh, yep. I probably would let you have it 'cause I can't spell. Name 5 things you see, hear, and feel. Smell a particular scent for grounding, such as lavender.
Oh, I was gonna say pumpkin spice.
Jeez.
Well, that makes sense for you. That would probably bring
Here
you
we go again.
Explain what happened if you look spaced out, or recall what you were talking about when you spaced out. So kind of snap back into the moment. If you're like in a
Okay.
conversation or you're not paying attention, stop the person from talking and say, hey, spaced out for a second. Start over.
Interesting.
Oh, I do that. I tell everybody I blacked out.
You're
Oh my god, I do!
You are dissociating.
That's what I do?
Yes. Because you're just leaving the conversation entirely.
Oh, people don't do that normally.
No.
I think she's
I
connecting
thought-
dots now.
I thought it was
She is.
just...
I feel like you're having a lot of light bulb moments right now.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like ADHD brain.
I mean, it could be. Again, I'm not a doctor.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you could.
I do need to go back to therapy and figure some shit out, I think.
I would
Because-
open up with this conversation here.
Well, because, like,
That is true.
I was
Yeah.
getting ready this morning and I couldn't, like, follow shit. I was just like, oh, I'll do this. Oh, I didn't finish it, but I'll go do that. Oh,
Oh.
I'm on my way to this, so
That-
I'll take that there. I'm like, oh.
that
Here's
be
my-
more.
Here's my question for you.
Yeah.
For more detailed information about you, I would have your therapist watch all of our videos.
Get to know you really well.
Get to know
Thank
you
you.
very well. Yes.
The last one is remember how using spacing out is an avoidance strategy. So figure out what you're dissociating with. Why are you avoiding it? What is the trigger that's causing you to dissociate?
Mm.
That I have to clean my house.
Easily could be. It could be
Because
anything.
I do I had audiobooks that I was listening to,
Mhm.
and I was sitting on my phone playing a game, and I ended up sitting there for like 2.5 hours, and I was like, I'm gonna play one more round, and then I'll get up and start cleaning, and I did that for quite a few rounds.
Yeah, you're avoiding something else. Yep.
Big life decision.
Of just doing my dishes.
Yes.
And laundry.
I feel like we have a lot of topics we can come back to.
Yeah,
Social
for sure.
anxiety, ADD, OCD for sure for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
No, I can verify that one.
Yep, that's a big one. Which also doesn't help with dissociation either, by the way.
Oh, so it pairs up.
Yes.
That's nice.
That would
That's
make
handy.
sense.
Yep. OCD is a big one. So.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the chaos, and we'll see you in our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.